Some people hold power without ever saying a word. They don't chase. They don't explain. They simply pull back. And in their absence, others scramble. This isn't magic. It's the power of restraint, a skill many never learn to use to their advantage. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding a simple truth. We value what becomes less accessible. When you're always available, always responding, always offering your energy, your presence becomes expected, not appreciated. But the moment you stop being available, everything shifts. People who once ignored you begin to notice your absence. Those who took you for granted begin to question your silence. What was once freely given now must be earned. There is power in the pause. Just before you speak, just before you respond, that moment of stillness carries more influence than most realize. When you stop feeding the cycle begins to stop. Take something as mundane as a group chat. You usually reply right away, but one day you don't. You leave a message unread. You don't explain. You don't justify. Suddenly, people notice. They ask if everything is okay. Your silence becomes a signal. Without a single word, the energy shifts. You no longer need to defend your boundaries or justify your silence. Sometimes, the most powerful move you can make is to do nothing. This isn't just about connection. It's about access, emotional access, the version of you people rely on to comfort, to react, to absorb. The soother, the peacekeeper, the entertainer. But are they really connecting with you or with a version of you they've come to expect? They know your cues, when you'll flinch, when you'll cave, when you'll laugh to soften the truth. That's not intimacy, that's programming. The more predictable your reactions, the more control you hand over. Emotional availability, when unchecked, becomes a form of leverage. Imagine they bait you the way they always do, but this time you don't respond. No defense, no frustration, just silence. Watch how they stumble. Watch how the script falls apart. Because the connection wasn't built on love. It was built on your reaction. That's the emotional currency they spent freely. But the second you stop reacting, you reclaim your value. The truth is, most people don't respect your time. They respect your availability. They respect your usefulness, but not your time. Not the sacred, irreplaceable moments you could never get back. Every time you pick up the phone instead of resting, you spend your soul's currency. Every time you say yes when your spirit says no, you sink a little lower in frequency, not metaphorically, energetically. And that energy shift attracts more chaos. People begin to expect this selfless, boundaryless version of you because that's what you've shown them. You start to mistake being drained for being loving. But it's not love. It's self-erasure. You became the helper, the healer, the fixer. And maybe you got so good at it that no one stopped to ask how you were doing. Maybe you forgot too. What looked like love, sounded like gratitude, moved like trust, was really utility. And the longer you lived in that role, the more your silence became entangled with your value. You weren't responding, you were performing. The longer you equate your worth with your usefulness, the more your soul begins to fracture. You give so much of your emotional labor away that your own frequency becomes faint, difficult to locate inside your own life. And when love becomes entangled with utility, silence feels like betrayal. Stillness feels like rebellion. But what if your stillness is the truth? What if your silence is the boundary? You're not here to be exhausted. You're here to expand. And you don't expand by shrinking. You don't grow by disappearing into someone else's chaos. You grow by honoring the frequency of your truth, your joy, your rest, your no. Let them adjust. Let them feel your absence, because your peace doesn't require permission. The people who only love you when you're useful are not your people. The ones who stay when you rest, the ones who see you when you're still, those are the ones who matter. You deserve love that sees you, not just what you offer. You deserve a life that feels like your own.